What's up everyone, it's Hockey Strix here, and today I'm bringing you round 2 of my simulated NHL playoffs. I'm just sitting here on the settings screen to show you that the settings are legit again, and also to give you a second, in case you haven't seen the simulated round robin, qualifying round, and round 1, to not have it spoiled for you before we dive into this round 2. If you haven't seen those videos, I will put a link in the description and annotations on the screen. I'll see you on NHL 20 for round 2. Here we are, guys, back on Chell for some more Stanley Cup playoff simulation. It's probably not what you were expecting to see, another new playoff mode starting, but since our round 1 simulation video, the NHL has confirmed that there will be reseeding in every round of the NHL playoffs, so we had to start a new playoff mode to get the seeding and matchups correctly. Just in case the round 1 maybe helps determine who the Conn Smythe winner is, and how the goalies, how the defenseman stuff did, I'll just combine the round 1 stats with all of the next 3 rounds and show you guys at the very end of the series when the Stanley Cup is crowned. Let's get into this playoff mode. Here we are getting ready to start the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. In my opinion, this Western Conference bracket has the chance to get a little bit wacky with the Coyotes and the Minnesota Wild still in the playoffs. The Eastern Conference, pretty standard. Wouldn't be that surprised to see any of those teams left in it. But let's get into our first game, and that's Arizona versus Vegas. The Yotes just riding that wave. After 1, up 2-1. After 2, still 2-1 for the Yotes. What's going to happen in the third? And we're going into overtime in our first game of the semifinals. And Vegas comes back and wins in the first overtime period. 3 stars of the game, Fleury with the first star, Schmidt with the second star, and Paul Stastny with the third star. Diving into our second game here now, we have Minnesota versus Edmonton. See what Minnesota's going to do in this semifinals. 1-0 on Edmonton after 1, still 1-0 after 2. And we have a bigger third period. Again, we're going to overtime. And in the first overtime, Edmonton takes the win. Let's check the 3 stars of this game as well. Koskinen with the first star. The winning goalies with the first star in both of the first 2 games. Eric Stahl, second star, and Nuge with the third star. Time for the Eastern Conference matchups to get started. Carolina versus Tampa. Game 1, and Tampa takes a big 3-1 lead after the first. Huge second period, 4-3 for Tampa now, and looks like they hold on 4-3. Tampa takes that first game. 3 stars were Kucherov with the big 3 points, McDonough with 2 points, Hedman with 2 points as well, and the big 3 hits. Let's get into Boston versus Philadelphia for our second Eastern Conference matchup. And we have a 0-0 tie after 1. 2-1 for Philly after 2, and a second period goal by Philly to take the win 3-1. The 3 stars of the game over here. The losing goalie gets the first star over here, Tuukka Rask. Voracek with the second star, and the winning goalie, Carter Hart, with the third star. Time for some Game 2 action. Coyotes versus the Vegas Golden Knights. 1-1 after 1, and 3-1 after 2 periods for Vegas. Big third period. Oh my god, 6-1 for Vegas. They come back huge in that second game. They're not letting the Yotes take them out like that. Robin Leonard with 35 saves, first star. Paul Stastny, 3 points, second star. Mark Stone, 2 points for the third star. Paul Stastny was going off in round 1, if you remember. Looks like he's going to continue that. Let's get into the second game of Minnesota versus Edmonton. Let's see what happens. Are McDavid and Leon going to come back hard here? 1-0. Nuge is still lighting it up in this playoffs. McDavid, 2-0 Edmonton. Bigger third period, 3-1. Edmonton takes the win. We have a couple of 1-1 series going on. Koskinen with another first star. Mike Green with second star. Goal and assist. Here comes Mike Green, the offensive defenseman that we remember from years ago. McDavid with a goal and 3 hits for McDavid. Back over to the Eastern Conference now, where we're going to start Game 2s of the Eastern Conference. We have a big first period, 4-1 for Tampa. Second period, huge second period for Carolina, 5-4 for Tampa now. Another big period, 7-5 for Tampa after all that. Looks like Shattenkirk got a couple goals there, but let's check the 3 stars of the game. Sergachev, 3 points, 5 hits, first star. Shattenkirk, 2 goals he got there in the third, gets him second star. And Blake Coleman, 2 goals as well to get him the third star. Let's get into the 1-0 series where Philly's up 1-0 on Boston into their second game. Let's go. Boston 1-0 after the first. Another big period for Boston. 3-0 after 2. A huge third period, but Boston takes the lead 5-2, wins the game in regulation. 3 points for Marchand, 2 points for Chara, and 2 points for Patrice Bergeron. That's my bad. I thought we had a couple 1-1 series going on. Looks like there's only one 1-1 series so far. Vegas up 2-0. The Oilers are up 2-0, Lightning up 2-0, and then 1-1 Boston versus Philly. Let's get into the third game of Vegas versus Arizona, though. Here we are in the third game of Vegas versus Arizona. Looks like Arizona got an early power play. Let's in the period 2-1 Arizona. After 4-1 Arizona's rolling Taylor Hall with a couple goals. Looks like Arizona wins that game with a dagger from Phil Kessel himself. 3 stars. Taylor Hall with the hattie. Didn't realize that. Kemper with 31 saves for second star. Chychrun with the third star with a goal and 2 hits. Let's see if Edmonton's going to go up 3-0 over Minnesota, or if Minnesota's going to make this interesting. 3-2 for Minnesota after the first. A lot of goals. Oh, no goals in the second. Third period, we're going into overtime. 4-4. James Neal and Ethan Bear tie it up there. Oh my god. Alright, Edmonton's up 3-0 in the series. Looks like not a lot of life coming at Minnesota in total in the series. I guess there's a good amount of life from there coming back in that game. But anyways, 4 points for McDavid, 3 points for Nurse, 3 assists for Zach Parise. Nurse had 5 hits there as well. Those are your 3 stars. Eastern Conference Game 3 is coming up now. Is Carolina going to take a game off Tampa, or will they get swept? 2-0 for Carolina here. 3-1 Carolina in the second. Is Tampa going to have a huge third and come back? No. Peter Mrazek is going to shut the door. They win 3-1 against Tampa Bay. Mrazek first star, Aho second star, Svechnikov third star. Couple of points for Aho. Goal for Svechnikov. Here we are in the only 1-1 series, and after one period, Boston's up 2-0 over Philly. After the second, it looks like they're still up 2-0, and 4-0 after 3. Boston shuts out Philly in that game, and I guess Corrali had 2 goals. Tuukka with the shutout only gets second star. Nordstrom with 2 assists. Alright, 3 games played for all the teams. As you can see, Vegas is up 2-1 on the Arizona Coyotes. The Oilers are up 3-0 on Minnesota. Potential sweep coming through. Potential reverse sweep coming through, like we saw by Minnesota last round, I do believe. And the Lightning are up 2-1 on Carolina, 2-1 for Boston up on Philly. Let's get into the game 4. Vegas versus the Coyotes, game 4. Let's see if Taylor Hall and Phil Kessel are going to come through hot again. 1-1 after 1. Looks like it is 3-2 after 2 periods. And we have a big third period, 4-4, going into overtime. And Arizona, Taylor Hall coming up clutch again. Let's check 3 stars of the game. Gets 2 goals, 4 hits for first star. Phil Kessel, big 3 points there for second star. Derek Steffen, 2 points for the third star. Looks like Phil Kessel and Taylor Hall are having a great semifinal so far, because their stats after the first round were not that great. Let's see if this sweep is going to happen here. We have Edmonton versus Minnesota, game 4. Edmonton is up 3-0 on Minnesota. Come on, boys. 2-2 after 1, and still 3-2 after 2, and Minnesota takes a win. Oh my god, are they starting their second reverse sweep in 2 rounds? Let's see. Dubnyk with the first star. He is going to start playing good, and they're going to turn this around for another reverse sweep. You watch. Ryan Hartman, second star. Darnell Nurse, third star. 6 hits for Darnell Nurse there. Eastern Conference game 4 time. Tampa versus Carolina. Tampa's up 2-1 in the series. Let's see. 1-1 after 1. Close game still. 1-1 after 2. And a big third period, but Tampa takes it 3-2. They're now up 3-1 in the series. Vasilevsky gets first star. He's shutting the door now. He wants this series to end quick, I guess. Victor Hedman, second star. Killorn with another star in the first round of the playoffs. Killorn was the leading scorer for the Tampa Bay Lightning, if I do remember correctly. Game 4 of Boston versus Philadelphia. Come on, let's see what happens here for Philly. 1-1 after 1, and a big, not that big of a second period, sorry, 2-2 after 2, a big third. It looks like a lot of yellow. Boston is also going to take a 3-1 lead. Looks like they lit up Carter Hart in the end there. 3 points for Bergeron, 2 goals for Giroux, 2 points for good old Matt Grzelcyk, apparently. Looks like no teams are going to let themselves get swept in this round of the playoffs. Vegas and Coyotes 2-2. Oilers up 3-1 on Mini. 3-1 for Lightning over the Carolina Hurricanes. 3-1 for Boston over Philly. Let's get into these game 5s here. We have the closest series of the playoffs so far. It looks like 2-2 for the Coyotes versus the Vegas Golden Knights. After the first 2-0 Vegas. Big second period here. 4-2 for Vegas. And after the third, Vegas wins it 5-2. Let's check the 3 stars of the game. I wonder if Fleury got one of them. Oh, sorry, Robin Leonard's playing again. I forgot that they played Fleury in the first round, if I do remember correctly. I think he had all 4 wins for them. But anyways, 2 goals for Pacioretty. Robin Leonard with a star again. Another 2 points for Paul Stastny. I'm pretty interested to hear what's happening with the goalies over on Vegas. So as I told you guys, I did track the first round stats over on an Excel sheet just so we can look at them at the very end. Fleury did play 5 games for Vegas in that first round, and they only played 5 games, so it looks like they're running with Leonard now in the second round, which is very interesting considering they took out the Winnipeg Jets in 5 games using Fleury in the first, but he did have only a .903 save percentage and almost a 3 goals against average in that first round, so I guess the CPU just decided it's time to play Robin Leonard. Potential second reverse sweep rolling after the first period. They're up 1-0 on Edmonton. Up 3-0 on Edmonton after 2. Huge third period. 6-3 for Minnesota. Let's check the 3 stars of this game. Kunin with 3 points, 4 hits. Koivu coming through. An absolutely veteran here coming through. Galchenyuk, I forgot about him. Sure, he had 2 points. The potential reverse sweep for Minnesota. They're just going to go, they could go through this playoffs reverse sweeping everyone. Anyways, back to the Eastern Conference. Let's see if the Lightning take out the Carolina Hurricanes here. 1-1 after 1 period, 2-1 after 2 periods, and 3-3. We're going into overtime. We have a goal. Carolina stays alive. Svechnikov, I wonder if he pulled off the Michigan there to keep them alive. What a stud that guy is. Dougie Hamilton, 2 goals after that game. Stamkos, 2 points. Dzingel, 3rd star there, 3 points. Can Philly stay alive, or are they going to be the first team knocked out of the playoffs? Let's get into it here. Boston's up 3-1 on them in the series. Obviously, 0-0 after the first period. Raskin, Hart, solid. 2-1 for Philly after 2. Big third period. Boston takes them out in the series. 4-1 series for Boston Bruins. Tuukka Rask putting the team on his back. 1st star, Charlie Coyle, 2nd star, Nick Ritchie. Some gritty guys there that you'd like to see secondary scoring from for Boston. Boston's the first team to move on to the conference finals. So obviously after 5 games, the only series that's determined, Boston has taken out Philly, and the rest of the series are 3-2 so far. So let's get into some game 6s. Vegas versus Arizona game 6. Let's see if Taylor Hall and Phil Kessel keep it up. I just saw that Hall's the top scoring leader, I think, back there. Looks like Leonard's back in it again. 1-0 for Arizona though after the first. 2-1 after the second. Is Arizona going to stay alive? No. To take out the Yotes, I think. Robin Leonard with another star. It looks like they were making the right decision running him in this series. Nate Schmidt, 2 assists. Paul Stastny, another 2 points. Paul Stastny's been great in these playoffs. I think Vegas moves on there 4-2 over the Arizona Coyotes. Here we are, guys. The beginning of Game 6, Edmonton versus Minnesota. Another reverse sweep for the Minnesota Wild potentially coming through here. Let's see how this game goes. Looks like 0-0 after the first period. Look, 1-1 after the second. Come on, is Minnesota going to stay alive? Huge third period. No, Minnesota can't get another reverse sweep going here. Let's see the stars. Koskinen comes up huge. Said he's stopping the second potential reverse sweep for the Minnesota Wild in its tracks right here. Eric Stahl, 2nd star. Riley Sheehan with the 3rd star. How does he get that when there's 4 goals scored? Must have been a huge goal by him. Anyways, looks like we have the Western Conference decided. The conference finals is going to be the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Edmonton Oilers. This could be the last game of the semifinals here. Tampa Bay versus the Carolina Hurricanes. Let's get it going here. 1-0 for Tampa after the first. Still 1-0 after the second. We have a big third period. Carolina pushes the game 7. 2 goals. 2-1 win in regulation. Vasilevsky still gets 1st star even though they lost. Peter Mrazek, 2nd star. Dougie Hamilton, 3rd star. That guy's a beauty as well. This is the type of drama the NHL Playoffs is about. We almost had a second reverse sweep, and we are getting a Game 7. Carolina, the Storm Surge, is managing to push the Tampa Bay Lightning to the brink of elimination in the semifinal. They want to make that conference finals against the Boston Bruins. Let's see what happens here. 1-1 after the first. 4-3 for the Tampa Bay Lightning after 2 periods. It was a huge second period. What are we going to do here? Let's actually just sim some of the game. Let's see what happens here in this third period. Let's get the speed up to at least 4 times, 8 times speed. Let's see what happens here. Let's watch this live. 3-4 with 14 minutes remaining. Tampa's on the power play. The shots are pretty even. This looks like a really close Game 7. Oh my god, that could be a dagger from Stamkos. Could be the GWG there. 5-3. Looks like Carolina is going to lose after pushing this to a Game 7. Come on, boys. Are you going to come through? Tampa Bay takes it 5-3 in a Game 7. They learned their lesson from last year's playoffs, I guess, losing to Columbus. They have more experience. They are staying alive. Killorn coming up huge in this playoffs. I'm telling you, this guy is just playing amazing in this playoffs. 1 goal, 1 assist, 1 hit. Stamkos, goal and assist. McDonough, another goal and assist. I think Stamkos only had 2 points in the whole first round of playoffs. There you guys can see it. That is the conference finals. In our sim, we have the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Edmonton Oilers. So the wackiness over in the Western Conference stops right there. No more reverse sweeps. These are two of the better teams over in the Western Conference. I could easily see them making the Western Conference finals. Over here in the Eastern Conference, we have the two of the top Eastern Conference teams. But see how the reseeding actually works out here for the NHL. If there was no reseeding, we kept the divisional thing, the Tampa Bay Lightning and Boston Bruins would not even be able to play each other in conference finals because they're in different divisions. So that's how exciting it can get with the reseeding each round. We have Tampa versus Boston over here in the Eastern Conference Finals, arguably the two best Eastern Conference teams in the league this year. So this is going to be the best of the best here in these conference finals. This simulation seems pretty realistic so far. We have the best teams here. Let's check the stats of those losing teams, see what happened to them. First, let's check on the Arizona Coyotes. Taylor Hall had a great second round. It looks 7 points in 6 games. Phil Kessel comes through with a point per game. Nick Schmaltz 5 and 6. Stefan playing pretty good. Keller with no goals. Keller looked like he was going to be an elite goal scorer when he came into the NHL, but I don't know what's happening to this guy. Chitron with a couple points. Looking over here at the goalies, it looks like Kemper kind of let this team down. Ranta even came in for a bit. Kemper, .88 save percentage. That's pretty much, that tells you right there how the Coyotes lost their series. Here we are looking at the goalies for the Carolina Hurricanes. This kind of says it all. Peter Mrazek was lights out to get them to this point, but he fails them in the semifinals, I guess. I mean, their defense is a pretty good defense. Let's see how the points worked out. Slavin, talk about defense. 7 points in 7 games. Dzingel, 7 points in 7 games. Aho, 6 in 7. Svechnikov, 5. Teravainen, 5. So there's not like they weren't scoring here. I guess the Tampa Bay Lightning just overpowered them with their scoring abilities, and Mrazek kind of let them down to a point. Here we are looking at the team who potentially was kind of toying with a second reverse sweep in one playoffs. 7 points for the top 2 point getters here, and then it drops down to 4 after that for the next 4 guys, as you can see. Let's check how Dubnyk played in this series for them. Did he let them down as well? No, Dubnyk played pretty good. I guess they just couldn't beat the Edmonton Oilers there and get that second reverse sweep like we were all hoping for. I think, personally, can say I was hoping for it. Over to the Philadelphia Flyers, who also lost their series. Konechny with 4 points, Giroux with 4 points. Not a lot of points here. No one at a point per game. You need to see someone like Giroux and Voracek maybe coming through with their veteran presence and their scoring abilities. Only 1 point for JVR. You need some like good scoring out of him. He's not their top guy, but he's a secondary scorer. You want to see more than that from him here. Carter Hart let them down. His lack of experience lets him down here. A .883 is pretty sad at this point. Like, Boston just overpowered them in their series, I guess. Well, we've looked at the stats for all the losing teams. Let's look at the top leaders. Since we're not going to have to restart another playoff mode, these stats are going to keep getting tracked all the way up to the Stanley Cup is awarded. So we should be able to get a good idea overall who played well through the semifinals, conference finals, Stanley Cup finals. But luckily, like I said, I'm tracking those first round stats as well. I have them saved. We'll add them to it to see if the Conn Smythe is going to the right person. You know, we might have to award our own Conn Smythe, maybe something like that. We'll see. But Paul Stastny, I know he was one of the point leaders in the first round, and he's continuing that. 9 points in 6 games for him. Kucherov 8 and 7, Stammer 8 and 7, Yanni Gourde also 8 and 7. Taylor Hall's eliminated now, but he had 7 and 6. He's going to get a big contract free agency, I guess. David 7 and 6 as well. He was doing pretty good. Bergeron had 7 goals in the first round. I remember that. Another 7 points in 5 games for him here. So there's your point leaders. Let's look at the goalies. Koskinen played pretty good for Koskinen. .909. Vasilevsky kind of letting Tampa down, I guess. He's the reason how it ended up going to Game 7 against Carolina there. Tuukka Rask playing lights out. If Vasilevsky can't keep up with Rask, it looks like in this simulation, Tampa may lose that series to Boston because they have a lot of scoring. They also have Rask playing amazing. We've looked at some of these already. Leonard gets all the games for Vegas. No, sorry. It looks like Fleury played 1, so they're bouncing back and forth. Let's see who they play in the conference finals. Who knows? But Leonard played well. Fleury also played well. Kemper played bad. So that's pretty much it for all the goalies there. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. That's the round 2 simulation completed. We looked at the stats for all the players and the goalies. We're going to leave the conference finals and Stanley Cup finals for the next video. I promise you, we will crown a Stanley Cup champion in the next video and pick our Conn Smythe winner. Make sure to leave feedback in the comments below. I'm just starting out on YouTube, so I want to make these videos as best I can for you guys. So I'll greatly appreciate any feedback you could leave me, and I'll take it into consideration. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like. If you really liked, make sure to subscribe for more content, and I always thank you for tuning in. This has been Hockey Strix.